Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome to Earth Angel Tarot. And in today's Isis Unveil reading, we will be taking a look at what are your karmic lessons or patterns in this lifetime. All right. And so these are the three images for the reading. Go ahead, take a look, see which one calls out to you the most, see which one you feel like you resonate with the most, and whichever image that is, that will be the pile that will have messages in it for you, my loves. All right. So happy picking. Hello to those of you who chose pile number one. And so this is the image you chose. All right, so now we're going to jump right into your reading and see what are your karmic lessons or patterns in this lifetime. All right, so we'll start with the pre-pulled oracle and finish up with some tarot. All right, so your first message is find the lesson. All right. Find the lesson. And the message is something has happened and it stopped you in your tracks. In reality, it was simply teaching you where you needed to grow. There is no such thing as failure. So pick yourself up, learn from it, and keep going. Yes, and I love this card showing up in this reading, specifying, well, what we're looking to specify what is the lesson, what is the karmic lesson, right? So this card is directly pointing out to you that you need to find what the lesson is in a current situation that you may be experiencing or that you may be going through, okay? And I feel like it has to do something with things not working in your favor or there being some type of disappointment, letdown, failure, right? And so, what you're meant to do with this situation, pal number one, is to find out what is the lesson behind this. So, this just means that you have to look and go a little deeper, right? Look at things beyond the surface level. All right. So, this is whoever this is resonating with, okay? And whoever of you are currently going through a situation or may have recently went through a situation that didn't work out in your favor, okay, now it's time for you to evaluate that situation. All right, take a deeper look at the true meaning behind the outcome of the situation. Okay, maybe that person wasn't meant for you, maybe that job wasn't meant for you, or maybe it was meant to teach you or expose to you a different version of yourself and bring that version to light, right? Maybe it was meant to teach you strength and endurance. Maybe it was meant to teach you forgiveness. Maybe it was meant to teach you how to love, right? How to love yourself. So whoever this is resonating with, whatever situation you guys may have recently or currently went through, that was I feel like it was very displeasing to you, right? Um, there's a message behind it. All right. And this is what Goddess Isis wants to point out to you at this time, that there was a message behind it. And part of soul growth and soul evolution is learning what are the lessons behind the life situations and circumstances that we go through. Okay. As the card says, in reality, it was simply teaching you where you needed to grow. Okay. And what area of your life did you need to grow? So when you can look at whatever this situation is for you, when you can look at it from that kind of perspective, it opens you up a lot more to not only receiving future blessings, but allowing yourself the room and space for growth, right? The room and space for evolving, the room and space for maturity, right? Maturing. All right. And so this is what you guys need to do is whatever your situation and circumstances are that you may have recently went through or that you may currently be going through is to find the lesson behind this situation or circumstance. Go a little deeper, look a little deeper. All right. And then you guys have a bad choice. Okay. And it says self centered, the facade, very selfish, lacks character, lives with family or ex, Fake it till you make it. Okay. And at the bottom it says communication issues and multiple baby mamas. All right. So this could be, I feel like this is a relationship for some of you all with this bad choice card being here. All right. I mostly pick up the energy that this could be someone that you're dealing with as far as a relationship goes, right? This person could be a bad choice for you, and of their characteristics, some of the characteristics that they may possess is they may be someone who's a self-centered, who's very selfish, lacks character, and in a sense is someone who's unstable. Okay, with this lives with family member or ex card popping up. All right. So this is why it's important for you. Okay, so I'm getting self worth. Okay, if this message is resonating with you, or this particular situation, the lesson behind this, okay, that I feel like you guys need to discover is that it's meant to awaken you to your own self worth. All right. It's meant to awaken you to your own self worth. All right. So, this bad choice that you may have made in regards to a relationship or whatnot, um, or even beyond relationships, however, if you feel like this is resonating, however it fits for you, then let it fit that way. But with this bad choice that has been made was for you to eventually be able to turn inward, right, and look at yourself from a different lens, look at yourself from a different perspective, because I feel like this bad choice, the situation that you're dealing with, kind of highlights that for you. Okay, because you see everything in them that you are displeasing of, right? Things that you're not proud of, or things that you would never want to represent for yourself as, right? So this is what this looks like. Okay, this person is a representation, or the situation is a representation of everything that you don't want to be, right? And so this kind of allows you to value yourself a little bit more. This allows you to have self appreciation for yourself a little bit more, right? When you can look at this person or this situation as being undervalued to what you represent. All right. And so this is why it's important for you to find the lesson in this situation. Okay. And it's not to paint this person or the situation as a bad thing, because essentially what it's meant to do is it's there to help you to realize things about yourself. Okay. So not that it's painting a bad picture, okay, for this person, okay, or situation. It's just meant to highlight things about yourself. It's meant to highlight areas about yourself that you maybe, have ignored. All right. And so that's mostly the energy that I'm picking up with that, is that it is around someone else, okay, in a situation not necessarily pertaining to you. But there's a small energy coming in too, where I'm being called to acknowledge that for some people out there, that you may be this person, right? You may be someone who's a self-centered and selfish, and lacks character, and you wonder why things are not working out for you. Okay, and it's because you have to look at the different lessons that you're involved in, and learning how to respond to situations in a different way so that you're not making bad choices. Okay, so it's all about up leveling yourself, up leveling your energy, maturing, as I said earlier, so that you can look at life through a different lens and a different perspective, and choose how to respond accordingly, right? Not always making the choice to respond in a negative way. All right, so that's just a small energy coming through with that. But I do feel like it's mostly, some of you guys are meant to look and find a lesson around a relationship. All right, and the choices that you've made throughout that relationship. All right, and then we have naive chick. Okay, and it says wears heart on her sleeve, learning lessons, doesn't recognize game, friendly, too easy, A know-it-all lacks self-discipline. Yes, and this is what I'm saying. So this is very, very confirming that I feel like, especially with this man and this woman here, that this is for some, or probably even for most, to do with a relationship, right? Where you're meant to value yourself more, and the gender roles can be swapped, right? So you could be a naive male, right, who is making a bad choice with a woman, or a naive woman who's making a bad choice with a man. So the roles can be reversed. But for the better half of it, I feel like you are the person who needs to find the lesson. Look, you have two cards in here about, specifically about finding the lesson. All right, you have the find the lesson cards here, and then on this naive chick card, it also says learning lessons. Um, so I feel like self-respect, okay, self-appreciation, self-worth is the lesson that is being taught to you, okay, that's being brought to your attention for this pal. All right, just learning to love, value, and appreciate yourself, so in a higher perspective, right? So that you don't have to make bad choices. But the bad choices that you have made thus far, they are part of the lesson. So you can't be regretful about them, or shameful about them, or upset about them, because they are essentially part of the lesson. All right, so whatever you're going through right now, whatever situation you're going through right now, especially around a relationship, okay, that's where this energy is at mostly. It is a lesson. All right, it is a lesson. This relationship that you're in is part of a lesson for you. Okay, and I really feel the energy that the lesson for you is self-worth, self-value, self-appreciation, learning to stand on your own 2 feet. All right, learning to stand tall and proud, and um not needing validation, right? Not allowing yourself to be taken care of, not taken care of. You need to allow yourself to be taken care of, but not allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. All right, because some of you are definitely in a relationship with self-centered people, selfish people. Um, they're not, they're all about self, and they're not giving you the highlight that you need. So this is where it's important for you to give yourself the highlight that you need and that you deserve. Okay, give yourself your own pat on the back, your own recognition, your own acknowledgement. All right, and not being so naive to the game. All right, because with I feel like this bad choice card, that some of you are, to a certain extent, being taken advantage of, right? Because this person is probably promising you the world, or not. I don't even fully get that energy too much, especially with them being self-centered and selfish. But they're probably just um, gaslighting you a lot, right? And so this is why it's probably important for you to wake up to the lesson in this relationship, okay, and learn to value yourself more. All right, and then you guys have sister with saboteur, okay, and it says she was close enough by universal design to know your weaknesses, either through jealousy, manipulation, or quiet resentment. She tested your ability to love yourself despite the daggers thrown behind your back. Yes, and so some of you, this is a sister. All right. For some of you, the saboteur is the sister. Okay. I spoke about relationships, and relationships just doesn't have to be um physical attraction type relationships between a man and woman, or vice versa. It could be relationships with people in your family. Okay. And so with this sister card coming up, for a good portion of you, okay, whoever this is resonating with, your sister is the saboteur. I'm getting she's the puppeteer. Okay, she's the puppeteer. So she lives her life. Her Okay, so she's making herself So she's making herself feel better about her life through you. I'm getting even through making you look bad. All right. So maybe she's someone who oh, there's a couple of different things coming here. So she's someone who gets you to do maybe her dirty work. All right. She's someone who can paint you as the bad guy in a situation or a scenario. Um, you're like the person who, like, if you were to have family functions, right, you would be the joke, right? You would be the target for the jokes or just the point outs of um, whatever, is deemed to be funny, or just like making you like the laughing stock. Okay, so that's kind of what's coming through. But it's all because she has her own self identity issues. All right, she has her own self esteem issues. So you might have experienced this a long time. Okay, you may have experienced this with your sister, for whoever this is resonating with, since childhood, right? You may have always been like her target or the person to pick on, and it is because she didn't value herself. All right, and so she kind of being able to pick on you, okay, gave her what she needed to get by in life. And but I feel like this energy has treaded along with you since childhood, even up to now, to where you're still vulnerable to her actions and her behaviors. You're still vulnerable to her. All right, with this naive chick coming up here. And so now it's time for you to really take a deep look at this relationship between your sister and yourself, okay, for whoever this resonates with. All right, and for you to realize that you've just been a pawn in her game all along, right? She's been the puppeteer, you've been the puppet this whole time. And it's looking at the lesson deeper, it's going to help you to realize that it was never you. All right. She tried to paint this picture around you, but it was never you. It was always her who had the issues in the self esteem and, not being able to validate who she was as a person. So she used you as her stepping stool, right? And so now it's time for you to look at the lessons that this between the dynamic of this relationship. All right, and once you do, I'm getting like this, it's like someone who's just really beginning to become enlightened around this, and it's all beginning to make sense. It will all start to make sense for you, right? Okay, and also what's coming through is some of you have even made some bad choices around this sister dynamic relationship, right? I feel like you may have been coerced to do certain things growing up or make bad choices growing up because of the sister, right? Being the saboteur, being the person who was trying to discretionally sabotage your life, right? And so now it's time for you to wake up and not be that naive chick around this situation. All right. And be able to stand 10 toes down and look at the relationship and realize that you are and have always been stronger than your sister in this relationship. And this is, I feel like the sister knew this, right? And this is why she tried to dominate you at a very early age, right? Because she knew that you had this essence about yourself that would clearly outshine her. So she had to take control over it early on, right? Early on in early childhood, right? But it's to the point where it's just been ongoing. All right, and you've been falling naive to the game for a long time when it comes to her manipulation tactics or whatever she's using against you. All right, so it's time for you to wake up to that. All right, find the lesson behind that, and maybe even I'm getting even console her, right? Even console her and help her. All right, so she may have felt like she was the bigger person all along, but essentially, you have this higher energy that you possess. So essentially, you're meant to be the person who consoles her. All right. And then you guys have workaholic shadow. All right. And it says unable to detach from work, slave, altruistic, neglecting self and others. All right. Give yourself the space you need to live a happy and balanced life. Create a life outside of work. All right. And so I feel like with this workaholic card showing up, I do feel like this is how you take the attention away from the problems that you encounter or the situations that you go through, right? I feel like you keep yourself busy, right? You keep yourself busy to not have to fully deal with whatever may be going on, right? I feel like you keep yourself busy with this workaholic shadow showing up, and this is how you stray away from these situations, right? And this is how you easily dismiss them because you keep yourself busy. But part of the finding a lesson in this is in this lifetime, you are meant to not run away from your problems. Okay. That's the karmic lesson in this lifetime. It's for you to not run away from the problem. Okay. So you may have done that in plenty of other lifetimes. And this is the lifetime for you to shed yourself of doing that, right? Not running from the problem. Instead, stopping to find the lesson, taking a deeper look, going within, looking at things from different angles and different perspectives. Okay, forgiving and acknowledging. Okay, the wrongdoings of people, but learning that those wrongdoings happen in order for you to grow and or in order for you to expand. All right. So the lesson for you with this workaholic shadow coming up is to not run away from the problem. All right. I feel like the workaholic is just you being, it being a distraction for you. All right. So you're called in this lifetime to not allow yourself to be distracted from the things that needs attention in your life. All right. And look at this. We have authentic self. Yes. And it says, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Uniqueness, individuality. Yes. And I love like the strong image on this card, right? It's just like standing strong, tall, and proud. And this is what you're being called to do. Stand strong, tall, and proud. Okay. Stand up for yourself. Stand up, against those who try to belittle you or who try to just make you feel some type of way about yourself, whether it's on purpose, intentionally, right? Or it's just their subconscious behaviors causing them to do that. All right. It's time for you to live your authentic self and step out of other people's shadows. Okay. That's part of the lesson is stepping out of other people's shadows so that you can live your authentic self. So you can live through your uniqueness. So you can live through your individuality. All right, and not be a puppet to someone else's strings. Okay, whether that's with your family relationship, a romantic relationship, job relationship, whatever the relationship is and how it fits for you. Just not allow yourself to be the puppet anymore, right? Learning to take control, learning to not allow yourself to be distracted from these things, but instead facing them head on. All right. And so now let's go ahead and pull some tarots. All right. Thank you, beautiful, beloved Mother Goddess Isis. What additional messages do you have for pal number 1 in regards to their karmic lessons in this lifetime? Yes. And yes, you guys are definitely are being called to pay attention, right? Pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to the lessons that are meant to come from situations and circumstances around you and to face them head on, right? To not run away from the problems, but instead stand up for yourself. All right, stand up for yourself because I feel like it is something that you may have endured for a long time. And so now it's time for you to not be naive to certain situations that's going on around you, but instead standing up, okay? Standing up for yourself. All right. And we have, yes, we have the Nine of Pentacles that came out in reverse. Okay. And that is a lack of independence. All right. So for a long time, there has been a lack of independence, because you value yourself based off of someone else's um, understanding or values of you. Right. And so this is with this Nine of Pentacles coming up in reverse. This is where you're being called to acknowledge how can you regain your sense of independence, how can you regain your sense of individuality, all right, and learn to stand on your own 2 feet and not be not allow yourself to be judged and be valued under other people's perspectives, right? And then you also have the King of Swords. All right. And the King of Swords is very, very critical, very cutthroat, right? And I do feel like this is you. I don't feel like this is you. I feel like this is the energy that you were around, right? Others critiquing you, judging you, being very analytical about you, right? And this is why this Nine of Pentacles is in reverse here, because you have for a while lived off of other people's judgments, right? Someone who's very opinionated, right? And so this is what you're being called to now acknowledge. I feel like for a long time, you may have brushed this off. All right. You may have brushed this off, especially with the workaholic shadow card being there. And you just kept yourself busy in all the right, places, areas, times, just so that you can not have to think too much about things. Right. But now it's time for you to look and be critical yourself. Okay, with this King of Swords here, it's possessing 2 energies here. One showcasing that this was others being critical of you, and it's also an energy of now it's time for you to be the one who is critical. All right, and living through your authentic self. All right, standing up for yourself and pointing out things in others that they would point out in you. Right, so it's like a role reversal. All right, and then giving people, okay, giving people a taste of their own medicine, right? And they won't like it. Okay, they won't like it, but this is what's going to help you to stand tall and strong and move forward. All right, this Eight of Wands showing up here. This is obstacles being removed out of your way so that you can progress. All right, and I feel like this is when you begin to stand up for yourself. All right, and you begin to do unto others as they do unto you. I feel like those people are going to move out of your way with this Eight of Wands coming up here. I feel like they are definitely going to move out of your way because they're going to see a different version of you that maybe they're not used to seeing. All right, and then you can live in harmony, right? Because I feel like with this Three of Cups card coming up here, I feel like this is when you'll get your respect. All right, this is when you'll get your respect, is when you learn to value and stand up for yourself and you learn to live in your authentic self. Okay, because right now, people may view you as a placemat, right? Someone that can be like walked all over. And so now this is the time for you to make a statement. Okay, make a statement of who you are and how you're going to love and value yourself so that you can move forward and so that people can move out of your way in the process. All right, and this is, I feel like, when you're going to gain your respect with this Three of Cups showing up here. All right, so find the lesson in these relationships, pile number one. Okay, but the biggest one I feel like is you learning to value who you are. Okay, you learning to take back your power. All right, learning to take back your power and just really appreciating yourself, even if others don't. All right, so that is all I have for you, my lovely pal number one. Really hope you enjoy. If so, please be sure to hit the like button, also subscribe, share, and if you feel like this reading resonated, also leave a comment down below. All right, my loves, until next time, take care and bye bye. Hello to those of you who chose pile number two. And so this is your image. All right. And so now we're going to jump right in and see what is your karmic lesson. Okay, what are the karmic lessons in this lifetime for you? All right, so we'll start with the pre-pulled oracle and finish with the tarot. All right, and so your first card is a walk away. All right, and the message is you're wasting your precious energy on something that will not bear fruit. It's time to turn your attention to things more aligned to your soul's purpose. All right, very direct message there. All right, and I feel like most of you who this is going to resonate with, you know what this is. All right. You know what this situation is. You know what this situation or this circumstance is where you are being called to redirect your energy, redirect your focus, okay, and walk away from those things that are not helping to serve your purpose. All right. You know, however or whatever this is in your life at the moment. All right. And so Goddess Isis is calling for you to pay attention to the things that you need to walk away from. All right. And I really feel this energy of you already know what this is. Okay. But there's some hesitancy around it. There's some being reluctant around it. But you feel it in your core, right? You feel it in your soul, all right, that this is not it. Okay, this is not what's up. All right. And but there's this, I feel like there's a part of you that's wanting to pull you forward, but like I said, there's some hesitancy there, right? And that hesitancy could be for many different reasons, right? Maybe it's fear of change. Maybe it's the fear of the unknown. Maybe it's just, doubts about yourself around being able to um, uh, just right thrive, okay, on your own if you walked away from this situation, okay, the situation or the circumstance. All right. But as the card says, you're wasting your precious energy on something that will not bear fruit. All right. And so this is just to say that regardless of how long you stick around for, okay, no, regardless of how long you're there hoping for things to change, it's not. All right. And so this is what's being brought to your attention, is that it's not. It won't bear fruit in the end. Okay. Take this message however it resonates for you in whatever area of your life. All right. And I do feel for the most part that there is this energy around whoever this is resonating with, you all knowing what this situation is. All right. So it's not like you have to guess or wonder like, what could this be about? I feel like the most I feel is that um, it's a known energy, okay, around this situation or circumstance. All right. And then look at this. We have complacency. Yes. I mean, this is just like so fitting. Like, you guys have been so complacent, okay, in these situations. All right. Which is why you're still there and you haven't made necessary changes or you haven't walked away from it because you've just been complacent in that energy, right? And so the words on the card is no spark in the connection, bored with life, afraid to leave, afraid to be alone, accepts life for what it is, insecure, lacks ambition, doesn't feel they deserve or can do better. All right. And then words at the bottom are codependency, living in an illusion, and prideful. Yes. I mean, it's out there, it's plain as day, right? You guys have become complacent with your situations. All right. There's a lot of complacency around your situations. And this is why um it's difficult for you to walk away because you've made yourself comfortable, okay, in these situations. So it's not to say that you guys are in bad situations. It's just that you're in situations that's not going to allow room for growth. Okay, you're in situations that's not going to bear any fruit, meaning that what you see right now is what you get. Okay, what you see right now is what you get. So don't have or set the expectations on anything more if you choose to stay with the situation. All right. And it's not to say that it's an overall bad situation. I just feel like it's stunting your soul's growth. It's stunting your soul's purpose. Okay. So you're not living the best version of yourself in this situation. All right. And like I say, this doesn't necessarily, I don't even feel like the situation or the circumstances that you guys are in are bad situations. Like I don't pick up on that energy of like these are dire situations that you need to run fast away from. I just feel like it's energy that's stuck energy, right? Energy that's complacent energy, energy that's going to keep you limited, okay? Energy that's stunting the soul's growth, not allowing you to spread your wings and soar and fly, right? And it could be because, just like the card says, part of being complacent is just, you become comfortable, right? You become comfortable in certain situations and circumstances, to the point where you're afraid to leave, right? Because you don't want to venture out into the unknown, or you're afraid to be alone, right? So it's just a feeling of being stuck and not stuck at the same time, right? Um, and so this is why it's being brought to your attention that, hey, it is what it is. And this is, if you choose to stay where you're at, don't expect anything more. Okay. If you want something more, if your soul is urging you for something more, or pull you towards something more, then it's going to require for you to walk away. Right. And that is the karmic lesson I'm getting, okay, for this pal, is that this is what you have to teach yourself in this lifetime, is to not be complacent, to notice when things are not working out for you, that it is okay to walk away and you don't have to stay and settle. All right. And then you have conflict in your circle. All right. And it says lies, jealousy, two faced, non supportive, envy can't be trusted, neighbors, co workers, fake friends, family, karmic lover. All right. And then at the bottom, it says gossiping, copycat, secret group chat. All right. So people talking behind your back. All right. So, yeah. And this is okay. So, I did just pick up a family dynamic with this right now. Um, I don't pick up like black sheep of the family, but definitely like um, the one who is um, targeted almost, so to say, when like the blame person, right? When things aren't going right, or um, like things go wrong, like you're, for whoever this is resonating with, like you're you're the person the finger gets pointed at, right? I feel like not as deep as black sheep of the family, but definitely like the person who like has to take the fall for a lot in a family, for whoever that resonates with that small message just came through. But I'm also picking up on co-workers. So this is standing out to me. So this is for some in a work environment. Okay. For some of you, this is going to resonate around a work environment. Some of you may have just become complacent at a work environment because you've been comfortable. You don't want to start over, maybe, right? Or maybe things are like I was saying earlier. It's not like these are bad situations. So maybe things have just been working out for you in a sense to where you're okay with being complacent, right? but just know that it's going to stunt your growth overall, okay, especially when it comes to your soul's purpose. All right. And in this workplace, it may be a place where there is a lot of conflict in that work environment. So maybe people are always butting heads, or not agreeing, or a lot of tit for tat. Okay, I'm picking up the Five of Wands energy. Maybe this is a place where it's a lot of tit for tat. Be mindful, okay, for those of you who you feel like this is resonating in your work environment space, that there are things that may be said or done behind your back that you're not aware of. All right. There's two-faced people. So people who are saying one thing to you, but then saying something else behind your back. A lot of gossiping going on about you behind your back. And so this is just really something for to be brought to your attention, especially if you feel like this is resonating in your workspace, around the work area for you in your life. Just be mindful. Okay, you may have been complacent because it's not the baddest thing on the earth, right? It's not the worst job on earth, but number one, it's going to stunt your growth, all right, your soul growth. And number two, things are not as they fully appear on the surface. All right. There are some things going on behind your back in this work area or workspace. Okay. So just be mindful of how you carry yourself at work. Okay. Not thinking that everyone is your friend or that everyone has your back. Just be very mindful. Okay. So this is the message that's coming through for those of you who it resonates with. But yeah, so just for the little small portion about the family, of course we all have, those things that happen in our family where there's the gossip and whatever the case may be. But you don't have to feel complacent, especially if you're in these environments or living in these environments with your family members. You don't have to feel complacent because it's a place of comfort for you to stay and endure, these type of conflicts. All right. So going back to that little small message or small energy message that wanted to come through for those who it related to in the family space. But overall, just be mindful. Okay. Don't be so complacent to where you're ignoring. All right. So this is the message that's coming through. Don't be so complacent to where you're ignoring the things around you. All right. And then you guys have a best friend and betrayer. All right. And I'm going to, the words here are like so tiny in there in white. So the message says they cheered for you in public, but secretly hoped you fail. Whether they stole your ideas, envied your connections, or betrayed your trust, they teach you that not all friendships are built on love and mutual respect. Some are built on competition, hidden jealousy, and envy unbeknownst to you. Yeah, I mean, like seriously, like double confirmation, right? Double confirmation that don't be complacent where you are. Pile number two. Okay, don't be complacent where you're currently at. Okay, even if it's something even if you're complacent because it's part of your comfort zone and you've been, in these situations forever, so it became like a part of who you are. Don't be so complacent to where you're not noticing or where you're ignoring the things around you, because there's definitely some things going on in the background. All right, with this conflict in the circle, with this best friend betrayer card here, there's definitely some things going on in the background. So it is going to be very important for you to level up. Okay, it's what just came through. It's going to be very important for you to level up. All right. Really now start to be wise in these situations. All right. Be wise in these situations, and I'm getting just like, like now just really being so you now really being observant, right? And just like sitting back and observing, right? Peeping the game that's going on around you and really paying attention to what's going on around you. Because when you do, that's what's going to take you out of that being complacent energy. Because then you may get that urge and that push to say it's time to move around, right? When you really start to observe and pay attention, that may be your soul's way of, they've already been pulling you, right, and nudging you, but now they're being observant and seeing things through the lens of your own eyes or through the lens of your higher self. That's going to be the extra push you need to say, okay, maybe it's time to change some things around. All right. With this best friend betrayer and this conflict in your circle, yes, there is definitely some things going on in the background, okay, for you all. um I'm picking up, there's very subtle energies around here, so this is why it's going to be important for you to know where this resonates within your life. uh, I have work energy, I have a little family energy in here, but it's the main energy is just for you to zone in. All right, like I was saying earlier, like I feel like you guys know, so zone in to the point where you're now going to be more observant around these different areas of your life, okay? And have a better understanding of what this is for you, okay? And then you guys have unhealthy shadow. All right. And it says tend to ignore health problems or self care, self neglect, neglecting body, mind, and spirit. All right. And it says it's not selfish to love yourself. Take care of yourself and give yourself permission to pause and restore. Yes, it's not unhealthy to love yourself, right? It's not unhealthy to say, this is why it's going to be important for you all to become more observant. All right. Because what's coming through is some of these things or these situations may be may be taking a toll on you health wise. And I get more so like maybe your stress levels. Okay. Because you've become complacent and you're maybe ignoring the fact that um, this maybe stress levels or whatever the health situations could be stemming from these environments, right? So it's not unhealthy it's not selfish, right, to take a look. Okay, this is why I say it's going to be important to be observant now, to take a look at these situations from a deeper understanding and a deeper perspective. All right. So that you can begin to pay more attention to your mind, body, and spirit. All right. Pay attention to what the mind, body, and spirit is urging for you to do. Okay. Or calling out for you to do. Okay. And then we have the unknown. And it says, uncertainty is the only certainty there is. Surrender, curiosity, and faith. Yes, and this is like how I was saying like earlier, like with the being complacent, right? Being complacent has a lot to do with the fear of the unknown, okay? Fear of stepping outside of your comfort zone, fear of taking a risk, right? Fear of taking that leap of faith, all right? And the only way to get to know the unknown is to dive right in, right? Uncertainty is the only certainty that there is. All right. And so this is part of you getting to know yourself. All right. It's by diving into the unknown and not allowing yourself to be complacent or be in this complacent energy. All right. Knowing when it's safe and okay to walk away and explore the unknown. All right. Explore something different. Go down different avenues. Okay. And this is what's going to bring you to the inner self, right? The inner understanding that you need in order for you to have the soul growth that your soul is urgent and pulling you towards. All right. So now let's pull some tarot. So thank you, beautiful, beloved Mother Goddess Isis. What additional messages do you have for pile number 2? in regards to their karmic lesson. Yes, and so the karmic lesson, I feel like for you all in this is to step outside of your comfort zone, okay, and not allow yourself to be complacent, okay, and allow yourself to be stuck. Give yourself that room for freedom, that room for growth. All right. And so the room to step into the unknown, okay, without the uncertainty there to back you, without the certainty, I'm sorry, there to back you up. And so this is your karmic lesson. You've been put in these situations to see if you would be able to step out of that being complacent energy, okay, that you may have carry over with you from other lifetimes. All right. So now you've been surrounded with situations and people that's testing your ability to step out of that complacency energy and being able to walk away. All right. Eight of Pentacles. Being able to understand your worth and your value and that you bring a lot to the table. All right, and that you don't have to stay stuck where you're at, right? You have a skill with this Eight of Pentacles coming up here. You have a skill that will allow you to be able to be successful in whatever it is that you do. Okay, you have a skill, but the Eight of Pentacles is also a card of really devoting time, effort, energy into this skill, right? So that you not only perfect it, but you make it work for you. All right. Page of Cups, having that new sense of emotional connection to self. All right. And stepping out of that. I feel like with this Page of Cups coming here, it's just like ready for just like this new exploration of self, right? Now getting down to the core of doing things that you love, you desire, or like seeing life through a different lens now, right? And being ready to walk that path through a different lens, and feeling ready, okay, with this Eight of Pentacles. Feeling ready to walk life through a different lens and not being complacent. All right, not being in stuck complacent energy, however that looks like for you. Okay, work, relationships, friendships, family ships, whatever that looks like for you. Just really stepping out of that energy of being stuck because it's become a part of who you are. All right, so with that Page of Cups showing up there, I feel like it's a breath air. All right, it's what just came through with the Page of Cups. It's a breath of fresh air around you loving, appreciating, and working with yourself. All right, leaving behind those things that no longer serve you and realizing that there's two more blessings, okay, or just more blessings in general waiting for you. All right, and not having to feel like what didn't work out is the end all be all. All right, that's just an illusion. Okay, this Devil card showing up here, that's just an illusion that keeps you stuck and keeps you stuck in place. All right, because it keeps you thinking about the what ifs, the what nots, the have nots. Okay, it keeps you focused on this when there's this behind you, okay, that you really need to put your attention to. Don't focus on pay attention to things that have already failed or that's not that doesn't have any more life to give to you, right? These are failed over, okay? So there's nothing left in them. All right. So this is to say that the situations or circumstances that you're in, there's nothing left for them to give you. Okay, there's nothing left for them to give you, but there's an illusion for you to think that it is with this Devil card showing up here. All right, this is the Devil card is a reflection of you just being the ego taking over, right? Telling you one thing when it's actually another. And so this is why it's going to be important for you to make that connection to yourself and understand the situations that you're in, that you need to walk away from. All right, because there's something else being offered. All right, there's something else being offered there. But as you can see, the back is turned to that. So he doesn't even notice if there's something else that's being offered because he's focusing on those things that has nothing left to give. All right, there's nothing left there. All right, there's no more room for growth. All right, as this card says here, um, it will not bear any more fruit. These situations, they have nothing left to give. These cups are empty. All right, so now it's time for you to turn your attention to the things that do. Okay, it's time for you to turn your attention to the things that do have something to offer you. All right, Eight of Pentacles. You definitely have a skill or talent to work with that will allow you to expand on yourself, okay, to grow with yourself and not feel like you have to be complacent in these different energies, okay, however they're showing up for you. All right, my lovely pal number 2, that is all I have for you. Really hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment if you feel like the message resonated with you. Leave a comment below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, my loves, take care and bye bye. Hello to those of you who chose pal number 3. And so this is your image. All right, and so now we're going to jump right in and see what are your karmic lessons, okay, or patterns in this lifetime, okay? So we'll start with the pre-pull oracle and we will finish off with the tarot. And your first card is a stuck in lack, all right? And it says, you have all the resources you need to carry you through. Whether it's financial, emotional, or physical limitations that you think you have, it is only ego-based fears taking over. Rein them in and don't give up. All right. And so what's instantly coming through with this pile number 3 is that you all have to change your mentality. All right. You guys have to learn how to shape and shift your mentality. All right. Especially your ego based mentality, right? That version of your mentality that's like the chitter chatter version of it, right? That's always pointing out the bad or always pointing out the worst or always looking on the downside of things, right? Always expecting the worst. All right, it's important for this pal to change your mentality, change your perception and your perspective. Okay, because unbeknownst to you, it's that your mentality is what's keeping you stuck in lack. All right, you're subconsciously and unknowingly drawing in the circumstances and situations that you don't want. All right. So it's going to be important for you. I'm getting with this pal is for you all to practice positive daily affirmations. All right. At the beginning of the day, throughout the day, at the end of the day, before going to bed. All right. It's time for you all to shift your perspectives and your energy. Okay. For this pal. It's time for you all to shift your perspectives and your energies, okay? Because those are the things that's keeping you in lack, all right? It's keeping you stuck in lack. So it's not that you actually are in lack, it's that your mind is telling you that you are. So your mind is creating those situations and those circumstances around you. So it's going to be important for you to now shift that energy, okay? And what that looks like is, instead of thinking from a perspective of lack, start thinking from a perspective of abundance. Start claiming these things even though you don't have them yet. All right. Start claiming these things even though you don't have them yet. This is what's called manifestation. All right. And I'm picking up the magician card energy. This is what's called manifestation. And yes, I'm picking up the magician card energy, and that makes sense because at the very beginning of this card, it says you have all of the resources you need to carry you through. And that's exactly what the magician card in the tarot represents. It's having all of the tools and resources needed to manifest whatever they desire. And you guys are thinking that you need these things in a physical sense. It is being called to your attention that these things are not needed in a physical sense. They are needed in the mental sense in order to bring them into the physical sense. And so this means changing your perspective, changing your energy, changing the flow of energy around you. All right. And so this is what's coming through. Positive affirmations. All right, positive affirmations is definitely needed for this group. I have I don't know if I have it in my description link or box, but I'll try to put it in there. I have a TikTok channel, all right, Healing with Goddess Isis, and it is good for exactly this, okay? Bringing you into a higher vibrational energy, giving you positive affirmations to work with for the week, okay, that you can use daily. So if you feel called to check out my TikTok page, because it is specifically to help shape the energy or manifest the right type of energy in order for you to bring about what you desire, okay? In order for you to remove yourself from being in lack energy. All right. So that's very, very important for this pal, is that you have to change the way you view things, the way you think about things, um, the way you feel about things. Okay. Because that you're creating this whirlwind of energy around you that's drawn in exactly the opposite of what you want. Okay. So in order for you to fix this, pound number 3, it is important for you to fix your energy. All right. And you guys have a genuine connection. Okay. And it says getting to know each other daily, early stages, good vibes, openness, looking for a solid relationship. All right. And at the bottom, it says dating, collecting data, baby steps. All right. And so I feel like with this genuine connection coming up, this is a genuine connection to source. All right. This is a genuine connection to source. All right. So this is you connecting not only to source, but also allowing source to help you connect yourself to you. All right. Because you're in this ego based type of energy where it's the chitter chatter, right? If you all don't know how the ego works, it's like the little voice that goes against against everything positive, right, that you want to do. And it's supposedly there for protection, but it's mainly there for distraction, right? It keeps you limited in your behaviors and your actions because there's this fear around it. All right. So this is why with this genuine connection card coming up, I feel like this is you genuinely connecting to source so that you can encapsulate yourself in the right energy that's needed in order to pull you out of this lack mentality, this lack energy. You have all of the tools and the resources. All right. And the universe and source being the primordial, is that the word? Primordial force that you could connect with. Okay. That's going to help you to shift in these energies. I'm telling you, positive affirmations. So when you feel yourself going in one way with a negative thought or about your situation or your circumstance, reverse that way of thinking instantly. All right, reverse that way of thinking instantly and watch the changes that will come about just from you changing the way you think about things. All right. So when you're feeling like, oh man, I don't, have money to do XYZ. And so now you're bringing in that energy that you don't have money, so you're not going to have money. Right. But when you start to say, okay, I want to do this, the money, I have the money for this, the money is here because I want to do this. So the money's going to come so that I can do this, right? So now you're shifting that energy. You're shaping that energy now to bring in the right situation or the right um, encounter, right? That's going to help you to manifest whatever it is that you desire. So this genuine connection for me is you getting to get to know yourself, getting to know the source, getting to know the universe, right? And so that you can make the right connection and let the universe work with you, okay, on whatever it is you're trying to manifest. Positive affirmation, okay, it keeps being reiterated to me. Positive affirmations. I'm telling you, check out my TikTok page. I put weekly affirmations there. But if you don't want to do that, You can easily Google or search up positive daily affirmations, or you can even create one for yourself and begin to work with those affirmations. Say it once upon waking, say it throughout the day, just randomly, and of course, say it, right before going to bed at night. And watch the energy shift. Pile number 3. Okay, watch you begin to see things happen right before your eyes, and you will be manifesting and be like in complete awe that all it took was these little steps to change things around. All right. Um, and I said these little steps, and on the card it says baby steps, right? Taking these little tiny baby steps to get to the grand finale, right? So yeah, so that's what's coming through with the genuine connection card. And then we have mommy daddy issues. All right. And it says extreme childhood traumas, identity crisis, emotionally detached, insecurities, trust issues, abandonment issues, seeks validation, mental health issues, guarded, and then at the bottom it says materialistic, selfish, cold hearted, and addictions. Yes, and so what I feel like is with this mommy daddy issues card coming up, this is part of the reason why you guys are stuck in lack, right? Because your mentality around this has been shaped at a very early age, all right, and it stems from how you view yourself. Okay, it's what's coming through. These mommy daddy issues that you may have experienced in early childhood shaped how you view yourself, and I'm getting had you feeling as if you were without. Okay, so having that feeling of being without is like the same feeling of um, being in lack, right? Not having. And so that early stage of being without what created the later stage of being in lack, right? Because you're always feeling like there's something missing. Okay, always feeling like there's something missing, or in claiming that energy because it's just been a part of you subconsciously and unknowingly for such a long time that it's easier for you to view things from more of a the glass is half empty rather than the glass is half full type energy, right? Or just looking for more of a pessimistic rather than an optimistic type energy, right? And so this power number 3, in case you were wondering, could stem from some of um, the neglects or the not haves that you didn't have in childhood. All right. So whether it was, your parents were emotionally detached from you, um, whether there was just insecurities around your childhood growing up because you didn't have that love and support from a family, not even a family, but specifically from a parental figure who kind of, you know, um, not motivated you, but someone who told you things about yourself to make you feel pretty or make you feel, liked, or just you didn't have that, so it may have created some type of insecurities around yourself growing up. Abandonment issues, right? Maybe some of your parents left you. Um, just trust issues because you couldn't count on your parents. If there, however, this situation in regards to the mommy daddy issues resonates with you, is how it's going to resonate. But just know that it is part of what has shaped your stuck in lack mentality. All right, because it's almost like you have this energy of not expecting better, right? Because you've been so used to dealing with the worst that you don't expect better, and you don't realize that you've created this energy around yourself in regards to that. And so this is why it's going to be important for you to make the genuine connection to source and to self, so that you can get out of this lack energy. All right, positive affirmations. All right, they're reiterating it to me again. Goddess Isis is reiterating it to me again. Positive affirmations is what's going to work for you. All right. Okay, I'm also being drawn to the materialistic on the card. So are, some of you like to pamper yourself, okay, to give you the comfort, okay. Some of you like to pamper yourself in a materialistic way to give you the comfort, okay, or to give you the, um, it's like it eases you from, it's like you're like a comfort, like that. I don't know which better way to say it, like how the energy's coming out. It's like a comfort. But that was just a small message for someone. So if it resonates, then it resonates with you. All right. And then we have step parents, the intruder. Well, look at this. Interesting, because we have the mommy daddy issues. All right. And then we have step parent coming up. So I do feel like there was could have been some type of separation. Okay. That was the start of maybe some of your problems or your experiences. Maybe that was the start of it. But then we have the step parent, intruder card coming up, and it says they entered your life as an authority you never asked for, a lesson, enforced acceptance. Whether they sought to mend or control, their presence reminded you that not every bond is built from love. Some are built from survival. All right. Um, yeah, I feel like there's definitely some brokenness around, some family dynamics. Okay, where the beginning of this energy for you took form and took shape, okay, in early childhood, right? um yeah, there's just like this energy of like the un like I unknowing, right? Like I feel like there's just like this, right now there's like this blank void, right? So maybe this is the void that you all have been feeling for a long time, right? There's this void there, okay, of things not being complete. All right. And so this is why I feel like the lesson is for you to not be dependent on others being the fulfiller of your connection, right? But the lesson is for you to learn to depend on yourself and source. All right, to not look to others to be that fulfillment for you. All right. But there's definitely some energies that has been shaped around, or shaped from, having, like, I feel like this separation between, parental figures, for whoever this is resonating with, some separation with parental figures, the step parent, quote unquote, the intruder coming in, and you just not really having a feeling like there's not a place to belong, right? That's why I feel like that's where this void is, right? And so not belonging or not feeling like you belong when all along you did belong. You belonged to yourself. All right. You belonged to you more so than you were a child to a parent or a stepchild to a step parent. You belonged to you. All right. And so this is the lesson for you to awaken to, is that you've ever only really belonged to you. All right. And so, now it's time for you to gain clarity around who you are. All right. Make a genuine connection with yourself, a genuine connection to source. Okay. So that you can remove yourself from this lack energy, that you lack this or you lack that, or whatever you feel like you're lacking in, whatever area you feel like you're lacking in, because it's just you reaching, right? You're reaching to fulfill a void. All right. But the void, the empty space is you. All right, the empty space is you. And so this is why it's important for that genuine connection to come through. All right, genuine connection to self and to source. All right. And then you guys have catty shadow. And it says subtly or indirectly insults to hurt someone, mean, petty, spiteful smugness. All right. And it says detox the part of yourself that resonates with toxic behavior and let your moods to, oh, wait, let's reread that. Detox the part of yourself that resonates with toxic behavior and let your moods to be your teacher. All right. There we go. I got it. So yeah, so that's part of the genuine connection, because I feel like with this catty shadow coming up, like some of you may be outers, right? You like to lash out because your emotions are maybe all over the place, or there's this void there, and you just don't know how to feel it or connect to it, or so you may like be quick to lash out. You may be quick to be mean. You may be quick to be spiteful, and especially maybe even spiteful towards a parental figure or a step parent figure, right? And this is why it's important for you to make the genuine connection with yourself and with your emotions, because that's what's going to help to bring about balance to yourself. All right, for you to allow yourself peace and understanding. Okay, and to realize that it's been you all along, right? It's been you all along. And the more you can come to terms and to peace with that, the more accepting of your energy do you become. Okay, so that you can manipulate it and manifest it or shape it to how you want it to be, to bring in all the right things that you want into your life. All right, stepping out of that catty, it's your fault type energy, or doing the blame game or pointing up a finger, right? Just making that connection to yourself, with yourself, to accept self, right? And to know that in order for you to manifest your desires, it starts with you. All right, changing your energy, changing your perspective, positive affirmations. Keeps coming through, positive affirmations. All right, working with those. All right. And then we have limiting beliefs. All right. Yes, look at this. Ultimately, you become what you believe. Okay. Mindset. This is what I've been saying from the very beginning. Changing your mental clarity, your mindset, the way you think, the way you view things. All right. And it also says self realization. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I love when the cards align so perfectly like this. But yeah, just self realization that it's been you the whole time, right? It's been you and what you do and don't allow yourself to do, right? Whether you're imposing these limiting beliefs on yourself, and I feel like it's you more so than anyone else, you imposing these limiting beliefs around yourself and learning how to shape the energy to where you're looking at things from a different lens and a different perspective. All right. So now let's get some additional tarot messages. So thank you, beautiful, beloved Mother Goddess Isis. What additional messages for pile number 3? We have the Six of Wands. All right. And the Six of Wands is the card of being victorious, right? And so this is, I love it showing up, because this is just saying that you are going to learn to work with your energy. You are going to learn to change your views and perspectives. You are going to learn to sit on your high horse. All right. You are going to learn to sit on your high horse and overcome. All right. Make the connection with yourself. Make the connection with source. Look at this Ace of Wands. Yes. Reigniting the passion within. All right. Learning to love yourself all over again, and all of your potentials and your abilities and your desires, just really ready and taking the steps to bring them about, to manifest them, right? To manifest these things that's like burning within. All right. And so this is you. I love it. Six of Wands, Ace of Wands, right? This is definitely saying you are putting the right foot forward. All right, you are definitely putting the right foot forward. Positive affirmations, guys. Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. Yes, new beginnings. All right. New beginnings of learning self-worth, of learning what you're able to, what you're capable of, right? When it comes to valuing yourself, your abilities, what you can manifest, okay, what you can bring into existence. Yes, this is just like so positive, so positive, because I feel like the tarot is confirming that you guys are going to step out of that undesiring energy or that stuck energy, right? And you're going to actually move away from that. So I love it showing up here. Look at this. We have the Three of Wands. Yes. And this is your ships finally coming in. This is you taking everything, or manifesting, taking all the right steps, doing what you needed to do in order to shift and change your energy. And the Three of Wands, look at this. This is the ships coming in finally for you. All right. Everything that you've called and manifested coming in. All right. Because of you manipulating the energy to work in your favor. Okay. And to not work at this. And look, I literally had the card, I was holding it like this, and it was the Magician. All right. It is the Magician. And I told you I was feeling the Magician energy earlier. Yes, 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 yes. So yeah, how number three, the life lesson for you guys is to know, or I should say the karmic lesson is for you all to know when you don't have to depend on someone else, or you don't have to play the blame game or point the finger, and blame other people for your mistakes or your problems or your outcomes or to how things have come. Just knowing that it's always been you, okay, who was the conduit, who was the connector. All right. And so now it's time for you to make that connection to yourself and to source, because that's what's going to guide you and show you the way, not the past issues that you may have had around mommy daddy situations or step parent situations. No more playing the blame game around that. All right, it's time to step into your own power and your own energy so that you can manifest in the way that you can the things that you desire. All right. So that is all I have for you, my lovely pal. Number three, leave a comment below if you feel like the reading resonated with you. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And until next time, my loves, take care and bye bye.